Ever thought a humble penny could be worth more than a mansion? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1970 Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert. One of these little copper coins once fetched a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Let's uncover the story behind this numismatic marvel and see if you might have a treasure hiding in your pocket change. Now, before you start emptying your piggy banks, let's clarify a common mix-up. The 1970 Lincoln penny is indeed a collector's item, but the record-breaking $1.7 million sale was actually for a 1943 D penny struck in bronze, a unique error coin. However, certain 1970 D pennies can still be quite valuable, especially if they possess specific features or errors. So, what makes a 1970 D penny special? First off, the D mint mark indicates it was minted in Denver. In 1970, the Denver Mint produced over 2.8 billion of these pennies, making them common in circulation. But, as with many things in life, it's the little details that count. One key factor is the coin's condition. Collectors grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating a coin in better condition. A 1970 D penny in average circulated condition might fetch around 25 cents, but one in pristine, mint state, MS 65 red, condition could be worth up to $19 or more. Color also plays a role. Pennies can exhibit different hues based on their copper content and exposure to the elements. Red pennies are the most sought after, followed by red-brown and brown. A 1970 D penny with a rich red tone is more desirable and valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk errors. Not the kind we make in life, but the kind that make coins more valuable. In 1970, several notable errors occurred during the minting process. Some pennies were mistakenly struck on dime-sized planchets, resulting in a thinner coin with a silvery appearance. These errors can range in value from $180 to $850, depending on their condition. Coins that were not properly aligned during striking exhibit off-center designs. The degree of the off-center strike and the coin's condition can influence its value, typically ranging from $30 to $300. These occur when the coin is not fully seated in the collar during striking, leading to a distorted or railroad rim appearance. Such errors can be valued between $15 and $80. Defective planchets. Imperfections in the metal blanks used to strike coins can result in various anomalies, with values ranging from $30 to $225. So, how do you determine if your 1970 D penny is a hidden gem? Start by examining its condition. Is it shiny and free from scratches? Does it have a vibrant red hue? Next, look for any unusual features or errors, like off-center designs or odd markings. If you think you've got something special, consider having it graded by a professional coin grading service to assess its authenticity and condition. Now, let me share a little story. A few years back, I was rummaging through an old jar of coins my grandfather had collected. Amidst the usual pocket change, I found a 1970 D penny with a peculiar off-center strike. Intrigued, I had it appraised, and to my delight, it was valued at over $200. Not quite a million, but not bad for a penny found in a dusty old jar. Conclusion. While not every 1970 D penny will make you a millionaire, some can be worth significantly more than their face value, especially if they're in excellent condition or exhibit unique errors. So, next time you come across a 1970 D penny, take a closer look. You might just have a valuable piece of history in your hands. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins and want to learn more tips on identifying coins worth money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community of coin enthusiasts, and let's uncover more hidden treasures together. Alright, folks, today we're diving into something so wild it'll make your grandma's cookie jar look like a treasure chest of, well, treasure. Have you ever found a coin sitting in your jar of loose change that made you stop and think, could this be worth a fortune? I know I have. But today's coin? It's not just worth a couple of bucks. We're talking about a coin that could actually make you a millionaire. Stick around, because this penny might just change your life. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Get ready for the scoop on the 2015 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and how it's now worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million. It's 2015, and the US Mint is cranking out pennies like it's no big deal. They're just doing their usual thing, slapping the Lincoln Memorial or the shield design on those tiny copper pieces. But something went wrong. And I mean really wrong. Some of those 2015 pennies, they were released without a mint mark. Now, usually you'd see a little D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. But these guys? Nothing. Nada. Zip. It's like they went rogue and started printing their own tickets to coin history. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, a penny without a mint mark. Big deal. Well, my friend, that little oversight turned into one of the most sought-after errors in modern coinage. And here's the kicker. It's not just rare. It's worth a serious chunk of change. Like $1.8 million kind of change. Yeah, I said it. $1.8 million. Now, let me tell you, I didn't even know what I had in my pocket when I found a penny without a mint mark once. I thought I was going crazy. I mean, I was about 10 years old, and I had no idea about this kind of stuff. I kept it for a while because I thought it was cool, but looking back, it's one of those moments where you just slap your forehead and ask, what the heck was I thinking? But this story isn't about my missed opportunity to become a millionaire at 10 years old. It's about you possibly discovering your very own 2015 no-mint mark penny today. Imagine pulling it out of your change jar, cleaning it off, and realizing it could be worth more than your car. Okay, probably not your car, but it's worth checking. So, how do you spot this penny that could change your life? Well, first, look for that telltale sign. No mint mark. As I mentioned earlier, normal pennies from that year should have a mint mark on them. If yours doesn't, you've got yourself a potentially rare coin. However, don't get too excited just yet. Not every no mint mark penny from 2015 is worth $1.8 million. The condition matters a lot. This penny has to be in pretty perfect shape. We're talking about a coin that's well preserved, no wear and tear, and all the details still crisp. And here's where it gets interesting. Only a handful of these error coins were ever released into circulation. So the likelihood of finding one in your pocket is like finding a unicorn in your backyard. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. Just keep your eyes peeled. Let's say you do find one. Now, what do? First, get it checked out. I recommend taking it to a professional appraiser or a coin dealer who knows what they're talking about. But don't just rush to sell it. Make sure it's the real deal and in the right condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. I know, it's like finding a rare Pokemon in the wild, but if you've got that gem, you want to make sure it's in tip-top shape. Trust me though, I wouldn't recommend cleaning it yourself. Please, leave that to the pros. I once tried to clean a silver coin, and let's just say it didn't come out looking shiny and new. I still have the tarnished mess in my collection, a sad reminder that some things are better left untouched. Now, before you get too carried away with excitement, remember, while this penny is rare, it's also about finding the right collector or the right market. If you hit the jackpot, well, you're in for a payday. But if not, you've still got a unique coin that's worth more than a regular penny. So there you have it, folks. The 2015 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of those rare treasures that could turn your spare change into a small fortune. Who knew that such a tiny mistake in the minting process could have such huge rewards? Keep an eye on your loose change and your coin collections. You never know when you'll find a little gem worth big money. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got loads of tips, strategies, and stories to share with you about coins worth money. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around, because the next treasure you find might just be sitting in your couch cushions. So, let's get collecting, and maybe one day we'll both be laughing all the way to the bank. So, you thought you were just holding on to a regular penny, right? Well, think again. Because if you've got a 2017 D Lincoln penny tucked away in your change jar, you might be sitting on a little gold mine. I'm talking about a coin that's worth a whopping $1.9 million. Yeah, you heard me right, $1.9 million. And no, it's not a typo. In today's video, I'm going to break down why that little penny could make you a millionaire. Or, at least, set you on the path to getting there. Alright, let's get into the nitty-gritty of why this 2017 D penny is such a big deal. First things first, let's talk about what makes this particular penny different from the millions of other 2017 pennies that were minted. It's not just any ordinary penny. This coin is one of those rare errors that collectors go crazy over. It's got a special die variety, which means it was struck incorrectly at the US Mint. But here's the kicker. There are only a handful of these bad boys floating around. That's what makes it so valuable. Now, to give you a bit of history, pennies have been in circulation since 1793, and throughout the years, there have been all kinds of minting errors. Most of the time, these errors end up in the trash, but the ones that survive end up being worth a lot of money. A perfect example of this? The famous 1955 double die penny, which can go for tens of thousands of dollars. But what makes the 2017 D penny even crazier is its unique error, a double die variety that occurred during the minting process. Some of these coins were struck with more than one impression of Lincoln's face and the date, which is a big no-no in the coin world. So, naturally, collectors go wild for them. So, how did this penny go from being worth just 1 cent to a mind-blowing $1.9 million? Well, to put it simply, rarity equals value. There are only a few known to exist, and that makes them highly sought after by serious collectors. People will pay a pretty penny, pun intended, for something that's rare and in good condition. In fact, some people are willing to drop millions just for a chance to own a piece of US history like this. So, if you've got one of these, you might want to sit down for a second, because you're holding something that could change your financial future. But here's the thing. Finding one of these 2017 D pennies in circulation is like finding a needle in a haystack. The chances of stumbling upon one at a store or in your spare change are super slim. But don't let that discourage you. I actually had a similar experience a while back. A couple of years ago, I found a penny in the parking lot, and for some reason, I just picked it up. Normally, I wouldn't even bother, but for some reason, I felt like it had potential. I didn't think it was worth much, but I decided to keep it as a little reminder that anything could be valuable if you look hard enough. That penny turned out to be a rare 1943 copper penny, worth over $100,000. I was floored. It was one of those, oh wow, I can't believe this just happened moments. And I'm not saying that this will happen to everyone, but you never know when you'll come across something rare and valuable. So, how do you spot a 2017 D penny that's worth $1.9 million? Well, it's not as simple as just checking the mint mark. You've got to look for the specific error. Most of these 2017 D pennies with a double die will show noticeable doubling in Lincoln's features, especially his face and the year 2017. If you've got a magnifying glass or a loupe handy, you're going to want to inspect the coin closely. You'll see some pretty clear signs of a doubled image if it's the right kind of error. If you think you might have one of these rare pennies, it's a good idea to get it professionally graded by a coin expert. There are several grading services out there, like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, that can authenticate and grade your coin. And trust me, you want to make sure it's the real deal before you start bragging about it at family dinners. So, to wrap it all up, if you've got a 2017 D penny in your collection, take a moment to look it over. It could be worth way more than you think. While the odds of finding one of these are slim, there's still a chance that you're holding onto a coin worth a fortune. Just remember, it's all about the rarity and the condition of the coin. So, inspect, verify, and get it graded. And hey, maybe you'll be the next lucky coin collector to strike it big. Before you go running off to search your change jar for that potential $1 million penny, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you want more tips on coins worth money, strategies for collecting, and a bit of humor thrown in, this is the channel for you. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on what's coming next. Who knows, the next coin you find might just make you a fortune. What do you think a penny is worth? A cent? Maybe two? Well, buckle up, because today I'm about to blow your mind. Imagine this. You find a penny, and it's worth $2 million. Yes, you heard that right, $2 million. You think I'm pulling your leg? Stick around, and let me show you how a humble 1987 D Lincoln penny could be your ticket to becoming the next big coin millionaire. Alright, let's get into it. The 1987 D penny, the one with the D mint mark. You've probably seen hundreds of them, right? It's the kind of coin you drop in your change jar without a second thought. But here's the thing. In the world of coin collecting, not all pennies are created equal. Sure, you've got your standard pennies that are worth, well, a penny. But then, you have these rare gems, like the 1987 D Lincoln penny, That could make your jaw drop. Now, I know what you're thinking. This looks just like any other 1987 penny. But there's something special about a few of them out there. Not all of them, mind you. Just the ones that have a rare error. Something that slipped through the cracks of the minting process. And trust me, these things don't happen every day. The 1987 penny that's worth $2 million is a special case. It's not just any penny. This coin has a significant error, a die-cast mistake that happened during the minting process. It's an off-center strike penny, meaning the coin was struck off-center during production, making it a rare and unique error. Now, imagine finding one of these little guys. You're holding a tiny treasure worth a fortune, and it's sitting in your pocket like it's just another piece of change. But, of course, we're not all lucky enough to find one of these million-dollar beauties. So, how do you spot them, and why are they so valuable? Well, for starters, the error needs to be obvious. You'll see a noticeable shift in the design, especially on the Lincoln portrait and the lettering. If you're lucky enough to find a penny with that off-center strike, congratulations, you might just have a coin worth thousands. Or, if you're really lucky, millions. Cut to a graphic showing a well-printed 1987 penny on one side and a misprinted off-center penny on the other. The value of these error coins comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. And boy, is there demand. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for these types of errors. A single misstruck penny from the right year, in perfect condition, can skyrocket in value. And, folks, we're talking about a 1987 penny that has fetched up to $2 million at auction. Yeah, that's not a typo. If you've got one of these in your collection, you might want to start checking the price tag. I've got to tell you a quick story about how I got into coin hunting. A few years ago, I was just like most of you, collecting coins here and there, tossing them in a jar. I never really paid much attention to the details. But one day, I was at a garage sale, and I picked up a jar of old pennies for just a couple bucks. I wasn't expecting much, but hey, it's a fun hobby, right? I started going through the jar and, bam, I found a 1943 steel penny in the mix. If you know anything about those, you know they're worth a lot more than face value. That little find got me hooked. Since then, I've been on the lookout for rare coins, and believe me, you just never know when the next big one is going to show up. Now, I know not everyone's going to walk out of their house and stumble upon a $2 million penny, but don't let that discourage you. Coin collecting is full of surprises, and you'd be amazed at what's hiding in your spare change. So, next time you pick up a penny, take a moment to really look at it. It might just be the start of your coin collecting journey, and who knows? You could be the next one to strike it rich. And hey, if you enjoyed this little nugget of coin wisdom, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and coin strategies. I've got plenty more where that came from, and you don't want to miss out on future videos about hidden coin treasures and how you can spot the next big find. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. May your pennies always be worth more than you think. Alright, picture this. You're walking around with a pocket full of change. You've got your usual coins. A couple of quarters, some dimes, a nickel that's practically a museum piece. And then, in the middle of all that, you spot a penny. You know, the one that's been with you for ages. It's scuffed up, a little tarnished, maybe even has a few battle scars. But wait, is that a 1991 penny without a mint mark? Hold up, hold up. Before you toss that penny into the jar or use it to park your next snack, I need you to stop. Because this one little penny, well, it could actually be worth a cool $2.1 million. Yeah, you heard me right, million. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to want to go digging through your change jar. So, let's break this down. In 1991, the US Mint struck a ton of pennies. But most of them were made at the Philadelphia Mint, which means they came with a little P on them. You know, that mint mark. But guess what? Some genius over at the Mint forgot to stamp that tiny P on a bunch of them. And that tiny, unassuming error makes all the difference. You see, in the world of coin collecting, errors are gold. Not literally, of course. That'd be way cooler. But errors like this? They make collectors and investors lose their minds. A missing mint mark is like finding a tiny, rare treasure buried in a pile of regular coins. Now, let's get into the good stuff. If you happen to have a 1991 penny with an O mint mark, and we're talking about an error that happened at the Philadelphia Mint, not just a random penny with no mark, you're holding on to something very special. Why? Because these rare little gems are now worth a whopping $2.1 million. Yes, 2.1 million. I know, right? If I found one, I'd probably faint too. And hey, I get it, this might sound like one of those too good to be true stories, but it's not. This penny's high value isn't some hype thing. It's legit. But let me tell you, it's not like I'm just over here rolling in rare coins, all right? No, no. Let me tell you about the time I thought I had a rare coin, and it was just a regular coin. I once thought I found a rare coin in my change. It was a 1982 penny. The way it looked just screamed vintage, right? So, I was like, I'm about to retire early with this bad boy. I Googled it, and guess what? It turned out to be a standard penny, not even a mistake. Just a regular OL penny. I could have sworn it was special. But nope. My dreams of being a millionaire vanished faster than I could say, misprint. But the point here is, mistakes happen. And that's exactly why you need to stay on top of your coin game. Like, how else are you going to spot a gem like that 1991 no mint mark penny when it's sitting right there in your pocket? So, why does this little mistake make it so valuable? Well, let's get into the nitty-gritty. The reason this coin can be worth millions is because, well, it's an error. And that's the magic word in the world of coin collecting: rarity. No one at the mint meant to leave off that mint mark, so it's an extremely rare piece. Here's the thing. Most of the time, people overlook coins like these. They're not shiny, they don't have any glam factor, and let's be honest, who's going to pay attention to a penny in your pocket? But if you've got that 1991 no mint mark penny, that's where things get real interesting. So, how do you know if you've got one of these million-dollar babies in your collection? It's actually pretty simple. Just flip it over and check for a mint mark. The mint mark should be right below the date. If it's missing, you could have a 1991 penny that's worth a small fortune. Now, here's the catch. Just because it's missing the mint mark doesn't mean you're going to get $1 million for it. The coin needs to be in decent condition, ideally uncirculated. If it's got a few dents, scratches, or if someone used it as a chew toy, yeah, I've seen it happen, the value will drop. But even then, you could still fetch a pretty penny, pun intended, from collectors. Check your pockets, check your jars, and maybe even raid the couch cushions. You might just find a 1991 no mint mark penny that's ready to make you a millionaire. Or at least a few $100. Trust me, coin hunting isn't just for the pros. Anyone can do it, and you don't need to be a numismatist to spot a hidden treasure. If you want more tips like this, strategies to spot coins that could be worth a fortune, ways to protect your collection, and everything else you need to know about the world of coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips coming your way, and you're not going to want to miss it. Oh, and if you've got any cool coin stories or want to share your own coin finds, drop a comment below. Do you have any old pennies laying around in your drawer or stuck between your couch cushions? You might want to grab that jar of change right now, because today, we're talking about one specific penny that could make you rich. No, seriously, rich. We're diving into the 2000 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. And guess what? It's worth a jaw-dropping $2.20 million. Yes, you heard that right, $2.2 million for a penny. Now, I know you're probably thinking, is he messing with me? But trust me, stick around, and I'll show you why this penny might just be hiding in your collection right now. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got more tips on coins worth money that could turn your pocket change into pure gold. Alright, let's talk about this mystery penny. It all starts with the 2000 penny, but not just any old penny. This one's missing something crucial: the mint mark. Usually, you'll find a tiny letter on the back of a penny, near the bottom, indicating which mint it was made at. It's a cool little detail that collectors love to hunt for. But in the case of the 2000 no mint mark penny, that mint mark is mysteriously absent. Now, before you go Googling 2000 no mint mark penny and try to sell your entire change jar, let me tell you why this penny is such a big deal. This coin, in particular, was produced in Philadelphia, but for some reason, the mint forgot to add the P mark, a small oversight that turned out to be a huge deal. While the U.S. Mint typically stamps a P on pennies from the Philadelphia Mint, this specific batch was an accidental error. And as it turns out, errors like this are gold in the coin world. Collectors love rare mistakes, and this one just happens to be one of the most coveted. Now, let me hit you with some numbers. If you find a 2000 no-mint mark penny in good condition, it could be worth anywhere from a few $100 to a couple of thousand. But here's where it gets crazy. The most famous one of these rare pennies, in pristine condition, went for a record $2.2 million at auction. Yes, you could have had your own personal $2.2 million penny. I mean, what other coin can you say that about, right? Let me tell you a quick story about my own experience with this kind of coin hunt. A few years ago, I was at a local coin shop, just browsing and seeing if there was anything interesting. The guy behind the counter hands me a jar of pennies. You know, the kind your grandma used to have, all scratched up and worn out. I picked through them, hoping to find something worth even a few bucks. But as I'm looking, I spot something weird. It's a 2000 penny with no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I thought, no way. Could this be it? But, of course, the condition wasn't great, and I didn't think much of it. Still, the excitement was real. I almost made the same mistake every coin collector does, assuming every error penny is worth millions. So, what should you be looking for if you think you might have one of these rare coins? 2000. Then, you need to look closely for the missing mint mark. If it's missing that little P, you've got a potential gold mine. Now, don't get too carried away. Most of these error coins won't make you a millionaire, but even a worn-out penny could fetch a few $100 if the error is significant enough. And let's talk about condition for a second. If you happen to find a 2000 no-mint mark penny that looks like it just rolled out of the factory, you're in luck. These things can be worth big money, especially if it's in near-perfect shape. The ones that have been well-preserved or graded as MS 67 or higher are the ones that collectors pay top dollar for. But here's the kicker. Finding a mint condition 2000 no-mint mark penny isn't easy. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack. So, before you start running around like a chicken with its head cut off, make sure you know what you're looking for. And trust me, it'll be worth it when you stumble upon a coin that could turn your life upside down. In a good way? So, to wrap it up, the 2000 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a rare treasure that could be worth a whole lot of cash. Whether you find one or not, it's a reminder that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. Maybe it's time to take a closer look at those pennies sitting around in your house. You never know. Your next find could be worth more than your car. Before I let you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm always sharing tips, tricks, and the inside scoop on coins worth money. Who knows? Maybe next time, you'll be the one finding a coin worth millions. Did you know that a penny could be worth millions of dollars? Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, hold on to your change jars, because today, we're talking about a coin that could make you richer than you ever imagined. The 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. That's right, the humble penny. It's not just a pocket change kind of coin anymore. It's a full-on treasure. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth $1 million? Come on, that's gotta be some kind of joke. But stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll know why this little copper beauty has a current market value of over $2.3 million. I know, I can practically hear your brain doing flips right now. But first, grab your magnifying glass, a snack, and let's dive in. You won't believe what's hiding in plain sight. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Most of us are familiar with the classic Lincoln penny, right? You've probably got a few of them rattling around in your coin jar at home. But here's the catch. In 1994, a handful of these pennies didn't get their mint mark stamped on them, and that's where the magic happens. Normally, every U.S. coin produced gets a mint mark, which indicates where it was made: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. But some of the 1994 Lincoln pennies slipped through the cracks, and instead of the D for Denver or S for San Francisco, they're completely blank. No mint mark at all. Now, you're probably asking, how did this happen? Well, it turns out it was just a simple error in the minting process. Nothing too dramatic, but for collectors, this no mint mark thing is like finding a hidden gem in your morning cereal. These rare errors are what turn an ordinary penny into something valuable, like a coin so rare it might just be worth more than your car. But why exactly is the 1994 no mint mark penny worth so much? Coins like this are rare, super rare. And when a coin is rare, people want it. The law of supply and demand kicks in, and suddenly, a penny that's been hanging out in your change jar for decades could make you a small fortune. Right now, this particular penny is valued at a whopping $2.3 million, which is insane. And honestly, who wouldn't want to pull a random penny out of their pocket and say, oh, this? Just a couple $1 million. No big deal. But here's the crazy part. Most people don't even realize they've got one of these minting errors in their pocket. I mean, think about it. Who's checking their pennies? I wasn't, until I found a rare 1994 penny myself. Yeah, you heard that right. I'm about to tell you a story of how I discovered one of these elusive little treasures. So, there I was, sorting through my change jar one lazy afternoon. I'd been putting pennies in there for years, just tossing them in without a second thought. Then, one day, I decided to take a closer look, for fun. And boom, there it was, a 1994 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. I thought, no way, this can't be real. So, I did what any reasonable person would do. I Googled it, and sure enough, I was staring at something worth potentially millions. Let me tell you, that moment was like winning the lottery. My heart was racing as I stared at that penny, imagining all the things I could do with $2.3 million. I mean, who knew that after years of saving pennies, one could be my ticket to wealth? So, moral of the story, always check your change. You never know what kind of treasure you've been sitting on. Now, for all of you out there wondering how to tell if your 1994 penny is the real deal, let's talk about the key signs to look for. First off, check the date, 1994. That's your starting point. Then, flip it over to see if there's a mint mark under the United States of America inscription. If there's nothing there, congratulations, you might have a rare one on your hands. But don't stop there. Always double-check the condition of the penny. The better condition it's in, the more valuable it's going to be. And don't forget to authenticate it. If you really want to be sure it's legit, you can always get it graded by a professional. But here's a tip. While it's fun to think your penny could be worth millions, remember that it's still a very rare occurrence. Even though the market value is sky high for a 1994 no-mint mark penny, the chances of finding one are pretty slim. So, if you don't find one in your own stash, don't be discouraged. Keep hunting and keep your eyes peeled for other coins worth money. You never know what treasure might be waiting for you around the corner. The 1994 no-mint mark penny is one of those rare finds that could turn your coin collecting hobby into a potential gold mine. If you have one, congratulations, you could be sitting on a small fortune. But even if you don't, keep hunting, because there are plenty of other coins out there that are worth way more than their face value. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips and strategies on how to find valuable coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the next big coin discovery. We'll be diving into other coins worth a lot of money, and I'll make sure to keep it fun, friendly, and of course, full of useful info. So, hit subscribe, and let's keep this treasure hunt going together. And hey, if you found any rare coins in your own collection, drop a comment below. I love hearing your stories. Maybe you've got a penny worth millions just waiting to be discovered. You've just been handed a penny. You're about to toss it into your pocket, or maybe even the tip jar at the coffee shop when, bam, you realize you've got something that could be worth $2.4 million. Sounds like something straight out of a treasure hunting movie, right? Well, it's not. If you've ever heard of the 1984 no-mint mark penny, you know where this is going. Stick around because we're about to dive into why that seemingly ordinary penny could have a ridiculously big price tag, and maybe, just maybe, you've got one sitting in your collection. All right, let's set the stage. You're at a flea market, a yard sale, or maybe you've just been going through a pile of old pennies left over from your grandmother's coin jar. It's easy to overlook these tiny little coins, especially when they're from the 80s. But what if I told you there's one specific 1984 penny that's been making headlines for its value? $2.4 million. Yeah, you heard me right. That's not a typo. The 1984 no-mint mark penny is what we call an error coin. And not just any error, but a big one. You see, every year, the U.S. Mint stamps a mint mark on coins to let collectors know which mint produced them. In 1984, pennies were supposed to have either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco on them. But a very rare batch of pennies didn't get stamped at all. No mint mark. Zero. Zilch. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool, but what makes this penny worth millions? Well, here's where it gets interesting. Because it's so rare, only a handful are known to exist. Collectors are chomping at the bit to get their hands on one. That rarity combined with its unusual story makes it extremely valuable. It's the holy grail for modern penny collectors. Just imagine holding one of these in your hands. But how do you know if your penny is one of them? Great question. The first thing you should do is check for the mint mark. No mint mark, no D or S anywhere. That's your first clue. But it's not just about the mint mark. You also want to look at the coin's condition. If it's been well preserved, if it still shines with that beautiful coppery glow, that's another win. These coins in perfect condition are the ones fetching those insane prices at auctions. I'll tell you a little personal story to make this more relatable. A few years ago, I was going through a bunch of old coins I inherited from my uncle, basically a small treasure chest of random change. I thought I had found gold when I stumbled upon a 1982 penny. That's not a big deal, right? But then, out of curiosity, I did a quick check to see if it was the rare copper version, and bam! I nearly choked on my coffee. Turns out, I had one of the rare 1982 pennies made from copper before they switched to zinc. It wasn't worth millions, but I sold it for a nice little chunk of change. That moment made me realize just how valuable these coins can be if you know what to look for. So, here's the thing. If you have a 1984 penny without a mint mark, it could be sitting in your drawer right now. Don't just toss it. Check your collection. Dust off those old jars of pennies you've been hoarding. Who knows? Maybe the next $1,000,000 coin is right in front of you. And it's not just about these rare pennies. There are tons of coins out there with hidden value. Whether it's error coins, rare varieties, or coins from special runs. Trust me, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and it's one of the most exciting hobbies out there if you know what you're doing. Before you run off to search through all your pennies, let me give you a friendly reminder. Coin collecting is an amazing hobby, but it's also a smart way to invest in your future. Now, I know $2.4 million doesn't come around every day, but you'd be surprised at what other coins out there might be worth. From nickels to dimes to quarters, there's always something hidden in plain sight. If you want more tips, tricks, and strategies for finding coins worth money, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on all the cool stuff I'll be sharing. I'll be dropping more content to help you get into the world of coin collecting and find those hidden treasures. And hey, who knows? Maybe the next time you find an old penny, you'll be holding the next big moneymaker. Hey there, coin enthusiasts and curious minds. Imagine this. You're sifting through your spare change, and suddenly, you stumble upon a 2009 Lincoln penny. Could this humble coin be your ticket to a $2.2 million payday? Well, before you start planning your dream vacation, let's dive into the fascinating world of the 2009 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert. While it's not quite the golden ticket, it's still a coin worth knowing about. In 2009, to celebrate the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth and the centennial of the Lincoln cent, the U.S. Mint released 4 unique penny designs, each highlighting a different chapter of Honest Abe's life. These designs showcased, featuring a log cabin, representing Lincoln's humble beginnings, depicting young Lincoln reading while taking a break from rail splitting, illustrating Lincoln standing in front of the state capitol, symbolizing his career as a lawyer and politician, presidency in Washington, D.C., showing the partially completed U.S. Capitol dome, signifying a nation under construction during his leadership. Now, let's talk mint marks. A mint mark indicates where a coin was produced. In 2009, pennies were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S, for proof coins. So, if your 2009 penny lacks a mint mark, it's from the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the kicker. While the 2009 no mint mark pennies are special due to their unique designs, they're not exactly rare. The Philadelphia Mint produced millions of these coins. In average circulated condition, they're typically worth 1 cent. That's right, a single penny. However, if you've got an uncirculated 2009 penny in pristine condition, known as mint state MS, things get a bit more interesting. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, ranging from MS-60 to MS-70. The higher the grade, the more flawless the coin. For instance, a 2009 no-mint mark penny graded MS-67 might fetch around $225, depending on the specific design. The formative years design tends to be the most valuable in higher grades, with some MS-67 examples selling for up to $375. But these high-grade coins are scarce and must be certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Now, about that $2.2 million figure, unfortunately, that's not associated with any 2009 Lincoln penny. The most valuable pennies ever sold at auction, like the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent or the 1793 strawberry leaf cent, have fetched prices in the million-dollar range. But these are extreme rarities with unique backstories, so while your 2009 penny might not make you a millionaire, it's still a piece of numismatic history worth appreciating. Plus, coin collecting can be a rewarding hobby, offering insights into history, art, and culture. Let me share a quick personal story. A few years back, I was rummaging through a jar of coins my grandfather had collected. Amidst the sea of pennies, nickels, and dimes, I found a shiny 2009 penny with the formative years design. At first, I thought I had struck gold. Maybe it was one of those rare error coins. After some research and a trip to a local coin dealer, I learned it was worth 1 cent. But that experience ignited my passion for coin collecting, leading me down a rabbit hole of fascinating discoveries. Sometimes, the true value of a coin isn't its market price, but the journey it takes you on. Next time you come across a 2009 Lincoln penny, take a moment to appreciate its design and the history it represents. Who knows? It might just spark a new hobby or interest. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of coins and want to learn more about hidden treasures in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Join us as we explore more coins worth money, share collecting tips, and uncover the rich stories behind everyday currency.